great ship. You know, I was on the Iowa recently. Pretty much of a sister. Which one's bigger? They're both pretty good. Which one's bigger? These are the largest guns ever made in the United States. And we love the Second Amendment, right? President Obama said, I will leave Iraq on a certain date. The enemy just sat back. They said, I can't believe they're telling us. They just went back. They went back into their corners, and they waited. And as soon as we left, they came out. Unpredictability. General Douglas MacArthur, right? From this area, right? One of my all-time favorites. You know, in the history of West Point, he had the highest average. I'm a big person for academics. I've always been, people don't know that about me. But I'm a big person. I believe in it. I always loved school. I always loved academics. But General MacArthur had the highest marks in the history of West Point. That's what we like. I like that. You know, it's only one thing. It's only one thing. But it's something. It means like there's a good level of intelligence, which we can use. Do we agree with that? So we're going to talk about our veterans a lot in a little while because we're putting out a plan, and we're putting it out today. We're giving it to the press. Press has actually been very nice to me lately. They've been saying, gee, he's winning again. But I was never losing. It's true. No, they've been very, very nice. No. They've been very, very nice. Hey, by the way, pan the cameras over here, folks. Just pan them for a second. Pan them over here. Show them the kind of crowd we have. You know, they never like doing that. They never like, what a crowd. They never like doing that. You know, they never like doing that. They never like, what a crowd. They never like doing that. They actually say, this is where Paul Ryan and Mitt Romney got together, as you know, when they announced the vice presidency, right? And my guys say our crowd today is even much bigger. That's pretty good, I'll tell you. I'll tell you, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Look at all these people. 39, you know, big. Don't forget, when you're in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and you got 15 people, that's a lot. So they keep saying Trump, 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 Trump. Then they announced it yesterday, and I came in third. Can you believe it? In the debate. They said he came in third. This guy, and I have to say, I thought it was terrible, because Governor Kasich, I thought he was a nice guy. But I've heard he's not. Always remember what you've heard. Not because the guy says hello to you nicely one time or 5 times. So I hear he's a very nice guy. But then about 3 days before the debate, I heard him going, they don't have, talking about Ben Carson and myself, they don't have the experience. I don't have the experience. I built a great company, one of the great companies. I employ tens of thousands, and over the years, tens of thousands of people have some of the greatest real estate assets in the world, have this incredible company, cash flow. And the only reason I'm saying it is because we need that kind of thinking, and a really successful one. You got to get along with everybody. You can't just, like, because when you have a deal going on in some country, you got to get along. Otherwise, the deal's not going to happen. So they talk about temperament. I can tell you, Hillary Clinton, who does not have it, I tell you what, you want to have, honestly, another 4 or maybe 8 more years of, you want to have another 4 or 8 years of being third rate, fourth rate. We don't even know if we'll have a country left by that time. Believe me. It's a very important election. You know, I backed Mitt Romney. I backed John McCain. I was very disappointed both times. This time I said, I'm just going to do it myself. We're going to win. We're going to win. Respect us. That's all we want. We're not looking for trouble. Look at China. They're building unbelievable islands in the South China Sea. Unbelievable. One of the great projects. They're taking this stuff out of the ocean. Do you think they got an environmental impact statement? I don't think so. See, in this country, we can't do that because we'd have to get an environmental impact statement. We'd pay the consultants tens of millions of dollars. They'd say, no, 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 you can't build that military base. There's a snail in the way. It's a protected species of snail. Oh, I do it. I've become rich because of it, because nobody else could build. I was always able to get permits. I'm the king of permits. One of the reasons, and nobody knows this, one of the reasons the wall wasn't built, they couldn't get their environmental permits. Do you believe this? True story. Go back and look. They were having a horrible time with environmental permits because of certain insects and certain toads. And we have lost our compass. This country has gone crazy. The other day on one of the networks, a woman was infuriated because somebody on the show said, that person, a certain person, is a hard worker. Don't you dare say hard worker. Why? That's not the right thing to say. How dare you say hard worker? In other words, it's now politically incorrect. You saw this. Did everybody see this? It's now politically incorrect to even say hard worker. You can't say Merry Christmas anymore. You go to Macy's, who, by the way, were very disloyal to me. Wasn't for a lot of, ties. I wasn't happy they were made in China, so what the hell can I tell you? I actually now make them in the USA. Can you believe this? Costs me a little more, but we'll change that when we get them to stop manipulating their currency. We'll be able to make them in the USA. I didn't work. But Macy's was very disloyal to me. As soon as they heard, when I said illegal immigration, and they heard they were going to have a picket because it's ties and shirts, big deal, okay? And I got a call from the head of Macy's. Donald, they're gonna have pickets in front of Macy's. I said, so what? I've had pickets all my life. I've had pickets. Everything I do, I have pickets. I said, just relax. And he was a friend of mine. I'll never speak to him again, but that's the way I am. You know, you heard me when they said, what's your biggest fault? They said, my biggest fault is I'm nice to people too long. And then when they take advantage, I'm still nice. But at some point, I get too angry, too long, and they can never recover. It's my fault. I'm too nice too long, and then I get too crazy so it's one of those. But with Macy's, they were very disloyal. I said, listen, let them have their thing. They'll be there for half hour, maybe 45 minutes, and then we're going to go to lunch. No, they said they'd pick it. Who cares? This is what we have running our country today. Who cares? And I'll never forget this one, because I'm in New Hampshire. I'm getting ready to make a speech. Tremendous audience. Tremendous. And I'm standing on the stair, and my phone rings. In fact, I said, well, I got to get rid of the phone. There's nothing worse than a phone ringing when you're making a speech. You pick it up, it's your wife. Hello, darling, how you doing? But the phone rings, right? And I say, oh, it's the head of Macy's. His name's Terry Langdon. Nice guy. And he said, Donald, I have to talk to you. Now, the MC is on stage. And he's saying, I'm the American dream, and Donald Trump, and he did this, and he wrote The Art of the Deal, and the Apprentice, and all this stuff. I'm getting ready to go on stage. I said, well, listen, Jerry, I can't talk to you. I'm sorry, like going on stage in about 2 seconds. What's up? Donald, we have to do something. We sell your shirts and ties, and they're going to pick at us. Who's going to pick at you? The Hispanics. I say, the Hispanics love me. I employ thousands of Hispanics. They're not going to pick at you. He said, no, they said they would. Can we do something? I said, like what? Maybe we can't sell anymore. I said, wait a minute. I'm going up to make a speech. The guy said, and ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Donald Trump, and I'm talking to this guy on the phone. I'll tell you, these people behind me, the vets, they wouldn't put up. They would have been, you wouldn't put up with that. So a lot of people are boycotting Macy's. You know, we have so many friends. It's amazing. We're all in this together. Our country's going to hell. We're run by stupid people. We are. We're run by stupid people. I can say this. Look, every deal we make is bad. We don't make good deals anymore. When was the last time we won on anything? We don't win anymore. The recommendation, in the old days, he would have been executed. 20 years ago, he would have been in jail for the rest of his life. 10 years ago, who knows, probably a little jail time. Now he's going to get off with nothing. We're just going wrong. But here's the story with Bergdahl. We get a dirty, rotten traitor, and they get 5 of the worst killers they have that they've been after for 9 years to get them out. Okay? And these are the deals. So we get Bergdahl, they get 5. Their 5 are AAA prime for them. That's what they wanted. Those are the people they wanted. Not, would you make that deal? I don't think so. So there's one. Now talk about the Iran deal. Okay? The Iran deal. No, think about it. How can they do it? If I'm making a deal with somebody, and they go out and talk to everybody saying, boy, that guy, he's not smart, he's such a stupid guy, blah, blah, blah. This is what they've been doing. They've been going out, they talk. And the guy, the chief negotiator, as you know, for Iran, the Persians are great negotiators to start off with. Nothing wrong with saying that. Somebody says, oh, that's politically incorrect. They're great negotiators. They've always been great negotiators. Okay? What did they sell for years? Rugs. Oh boy, those rugs cost a lot of money, right? When I meet him, I'll say, hey, how you doing? But I will never call him. Can you imagine this guy? He's calling him the supreme leader. So anyway, so we have breaks, and they're dancing in the streets. The deal hasn't been made yet. Think of it. The deal hasn't been made. Although what people don't even understand, the $150 billion, before they even sat down, they got that. Because when I wanted to break up the deal, I was told by the highest source, well, the money is gone. We've already agreed. In other words, the fact that we agreed to meet, they're getting the 150. This is $150 billion. They don't need nuclear weapons because they can buy them. They don't have to. Why should they work? They can buy them. Now they're going into Syria. They're going, oh. And I don't know if you heard, because people have been out here since 6 o'clock in the morning, but they say the jetliner that was shot down in Egypt, ISIS is taking credit for that. So ISIS. We got to do something. We got to do something. And you know, while I'm in a military area, I have to tell the story. So, big fan of MacArthur, big fan of General George Patton. These are people that we don't seem to have anymore, right? But we do have them. They're there, but they haven't been politically correct. Do you think that George Patton was politically correct? He was a brutal guy. I mean, we had somebody who was very good. You know who he was. About 3 years ago. He was fired because he used foul language. Right? You know that. I guess he wasn't a big fan of Obama, but that's okay. We can understand that. That's what made him a great general. But, no. He was fired because he was rough and tough and he used bad language. I want somebody, now, I want rough and tough, but I also want brilliant. I don't want you, I know a lot of tough guys that are stupid, okay? Those guys they're easy. The tough guys that are stupid, you need big brain power. But we're going to get somebody, I'm going to find somebody. You know, you have West Point, you have the Air Force, you have the Naval Academy. They're there, right? They're there. We have them. You know, we have them. But those aren't the guys that do it. So I watched one of our top people, he was a very nice man, and he was being interviewed on television a couple of months ago. And I tell this all the time, I don't want my generals on television being interviewed. I don't want them being interviewed. And he just looks like a weak individual. You know when I said that Jeb Bush is a low-energy individual? Oh, did that kill him? I didn't want to hurt him that bad. I think he's such a nice guy. I think I'm going to revive him. It's not fair. Huh? Well, Ben Carson's a lower-key individual than he is. And I don't hear anybody. And he's a nice man. But Ben's very low-key. Honestly, I really believe we need somebody, and I was going to tell you that Hillary and Jeb said, Tone, we need somebody that has a strong temperament. We need somebody fast. We wiped it out. Then we said, okay, we're gone. And if you remember, okay, so I said, don't go in. Now we're there. We spent a fortune. They have the so-called surge. But, I mean, the truth is, look, once the enemy finds out that we're leaving, they don't fight anymore. They say, what else? Well, they always say they don't want to get killed. Believe me, they don't want to get killed. So they go back, and then as soon as we left, it was over. So Iraq right now is negotiating. As we stand here, Iraq is negotiating with Iran. Iran's going to take over for nothing. The largest oil reserve in the world. Now, you remember, we shouldn't have gone out, and we should have, what Obama should have said, we'll be there forever. We're going to be there forever with our 20,000 troops. We're going to be there forever. We're not going out. Don't worry about it. We would have deflated them. They would have said, oh, this guy's crazy. Yeah, he's hard to beat. Here's a guy. We draw a line in the sand. Nothing happens. I mean, honestly, folks, this is the worst. This is the worst. We've never had it like this. Had he said, we're not getting out of Iraq, shouldn't have been there. But once he said, then everybody pulled back, and we thought we were doing well. We weren't doing well. They said, why should we fight when in a year from now or 18 months, we'll walk in? That's what happened. They walk in. And it's getting worse and worse, and every week we're losing another city. So we spent, and you know my biggest problem, and it's a hard thing even to say because people hear it and they hear it loud, and you look at all those people back there, and some of them are actually good, I'm talking to the media. But the hardest thing for me is if I were a father or a mother, 2,300. I thought it was a wrong number. How can it be 2,300? You know what that is? These are the best armor-plated ones where when the bombs go off on the road, the roadway bombs, I mean, you'll be okay. You're not going to lose your arms, your legs. You'll be okay. They're all gone. They were taken. ISIS has them, that's right, and others. Everybody has them. Everybody has them but us. We're not going to let that kind of stuff happen anymore. We're going to be smart. We're going to be smart. We're going to be smart, and we're going to be tough. And we're going to be tough. And when we help other countries, they're going to help us, or they have a problem. And when we defend Japan, and when we defend, look, I love South Korea. I buy so many televisions, thousands of televisions. I told the other day, 4,000 televisions I ordered for a big job I built. Great job. They're all coming, all the bids, South Korea. I said, do we have anybody in like the United States? Nobody. There's nobody. There's nobody. There's Sony in Japan, but they lost their way. They're not competitive price-wise. But so there's Samsung, there's LG. They all come out of South Korea. They're making a fortune. They have one of the great money machines ever. We defend them for nothing. For nothing. We have right now 28,000 soldiers between that mad maniac, who, by the way, has nuclear weapons. You know, we're going after Iran, and I will tell you, we will do so great. I'll have that thing figured out so fast. But that's not that big a problem. You got North Korea that has nuclear, and nobody talks about it. You know why? You ever have something that's so sort of like, oh, I don't want to talk about it, it's such a bit. That's what it is. All guys don't want to talk about it. It's like this. Jesus, because we're stupid. We're stupid. No. Stupid. We're afraid. We have no vision. Many reasons. But we talk about all the time, Iran. And what we did is horrible. It's the single worst contract I've ever seen of any kind. I mean, real estate, I mean, business. You can't get a worse deal. We don't even get our prisoners back. By the way, before we get back to North Korea, our prisoners, the other day, they should have come with a deal. For $150 billion, we don't get 4 guys back. $150 billion, we don't get. One's in there because he's a Christian pastor. I met his wife. She's so nice. She's devastated. She doesn't know what's happening. We don't get our people back. $150 billion. They're building a military base in the middle of an ocean. And I'm telling you, the environmental impact of this country, we wouldn't be able to do it. It's the most, I'm telling you, we have to go back. We have to go back 25, 30, 40 years. We have to do something. We're getting decimated. Illegal immigration, same thing. Illegal immigration, I'm going to build a wall, okay? I'm going to build it. So, I'm going to build a wall. It's going to be a great wall. It's not going to be a little wall. It's going to be a big, beautiful wall, because someday it's going to be named after me probably, and I want to make sure it looks good. And it's not going to be penetrable, and we're going to have equipment so that nobody can do tunnels underneath. Don't worry about it. They said, well, they'll go under the wall. How did they do that if people are watching? How do they do? I don't care. You have all sorts of X-ray equipment. You have all sorts of things. Believe me, nobody's going tunnels under the wall. All right? And this wall's going to be real high. It's going to be real beautiful. It's going to be strong and powerful. And it's going to have openings so that people can come in when they're legally documented. It's going to be great.